Hi guys, this is Anjana, the greedy reader. Welcome to another discussion that we are going to have about books. Today I have got something for you from my bookshelf. Uh, People who know me know that I buy a lot of books, and very few people know that I don't read all the books that I buy. So I have got these books hidden within, which I know I should be reading, but I somehow never get around to reading it. It's not that there's anything wrong with them, but I don't know, I just forget about them, I think. When I read, oh sorry, not when I read, when I saw the trailer of Meera Nair's Suitable Boy coming up based on Vikram Seth's book Suitable Boy, I was thinking that I have got to read this book, and I have this book, and twice I started reading it, and I somehow gave up. You'll understand why when you see. You'll understand when you see the size of the book. It's one of the longest English novels in a single volume. It's 1,300 pages, and beautiful cover. Just look at the cover. Oh, this was gifted to me by a friend of mine, Shalini, in 2012. With all good intentions, she gifted to me, and with all good intentions, I took it from her, and I wanted to read it. I mean, it's a beautiful read. I started reading it. I really liked it, but somehow or the other, I just got sidetracked into other books and other things. So this languished again, and now it's become yellowed, and it's got a really lovely look now. Anyway, so Suitable Boy is a book which I thought I should get back into reading. It's written by Vikram Seth, and those of you who are interested in India, which we have not experienced, this is post-independence India, and it is a way of life which we don't see today. And Vikram Seth has written beautifully. I mean, he is a brilliant author who has written this huge, enormous saga of 4 families, and it starts in this fictional town of Brahmpur, which is between Banaras and Patna, and it then meanders to Calcutta, to Delhi, and to Lucknow. And we've got these 4 families: the Khannas, the Mehras, the Chatterjees, and the Kapoors. So it all starts off with a wedding in the Mehra family, and the main protagonist, if you can call somebody in this huge opus, magnum opus, a protagonist, a main protagonist, then that main protagonist is Lata Mehra. And Lata Mehra's mother is the highly ambitious Mrs. Rupa Mehra, widowed, and she is very anxious to get all her daughters married off. And this is the occasion is the marriage of her elder daughter, Savita. So Rupa Mehra now wants Lata to get married, and Lata is a young graduate, and she's just completed literature, and she does not want to get married. The whole book is based on a search by Mrs. Mehra for a suitable boy for Lata, and you get to see life in India during those times, and life in different parts of India, different social strata of India. And Lata then goes to Calcutta to stay with her brother. Then you get to see another kind of India there. So what I saw, I just flipped through the book, and I think I read a tiny part of it, and it's written really well, and there's so much of detail, and detail in the sense not the boring kind, but the way life was lived then. So the kind of details that you like to know about what people, how they lived, and what was the social arrangements during those time, and how were the families interacting with each other, the social, the religious, the political situation in the country during those times. So it is this novel is set in 18 months, and you see a country which is trying to find its identity. And along with that, you also see the protagonist Lata, who is also trying to find her identity. And there's so many things which have changed today from what it was during those times. And you see that the way we live has changed. The things that women do has changed. But sadly, what I found was, even now, the way women are looked at, the expectations from women are more or less the same. as what is shown in this novel, which is set in the 1950s. So that I thought was slightly sad. Then caste, community, the interactions between people, and morality. So many things. So outwardly, so many things have changed. I mean, practically everything has changed. But you find that again, deep within people, a lot of things are remaining the same. So what exactly is this progress that we are talking about today? So yeah, there's so many things that you can think about while you're reading this novel, but by itself, it is a beautiful read. It's very interesting, it's intriguing, and you get to see these so many different kinds of people who were living in society during those times, and how they used to think and how they used to interact with each other, what they thought about each other. Very interesting. So I think that since the series is coming, you might have this urge to read this book. It's a huge tome, but I think I should try again. Shalini, I'm so sorry I didn't finish it. But Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth is a really good novel. You should try reading it. And before the series is out, try finishing it. I think you can if you set your mind to it. And while I was searching for this book, I came upon another beauty which again had disappeared into the confines of the cupboard, which is Italy for the Gourmet Traveler. It's non-fiction, so no wonder that I didn't get back to it, though I bought it with a lot of hope and aspiration that I would read this and I would know Italy like the back of my hand, even though I haven't gone to Italy. So maybe someday when I go, I will go to the places mentioned in this book. Yeah. So this is Italy for the Gourmet Traveler, written by Fred Plotkin. It is a gem. It is a beauty. It's a marvelous book. I mean, I just flipped through it. I read parts from here and there, and I read the reviews about it, and unanimously people have marveled at this book. I mean, there's so much about Italy, so much about the different regions. Like each chapter talks to you about a region, and there are stories about that region, stories about the people in that region, and there's a lot of information about the tiny inns, the hotels, the restaurants, museums. There's even a mention of a museum for umbrellas. So so much of information, price details about a meal that you can have, then details about what each region is famous for, and what you shouldn't miss, unmissable dishes in certain restaurants. So all these things are written so beautifully. It's not as if it's just a statement of facts, okay? It's written so well. It's almost like a story. And the descriptions of food, oh my God, it's marvelous. Yeah, so I felt slightly sad, but I think I will sit and read it and think that I'm in Italy, because that's the only way I'm going to Italy right now. And there's so many interesting vignettes of people. There's this little town, I forget the name, I think it's Loreno, I'm not sure. So the author talks about a baker and how life has changed for him, okay. In the 1950s, in the 1930s and 40s, he was the only baker in that village. So he used to go around, all the women of the village used to get their breads baked at his place. And what he would do is every day at 1 o'clock in the morning, he would go around and knock at the doors of the people who wanted bread. So the women in those households would get up and start kneading the dough. And kneading the dough took 2 hours. Then after these 2 hours, Alfredo, the name of the baker, Alfredo would come back again, and he would knock at these doors and tell them to shape the loaves. And while on these rounds, he would sit and talk to them, he would share coffee with them, and he would tell them news of other households, and he was a really kind, benevolent person. And this is what he used to do. So after the whole dough was shaped into loaves and all that, this guy, he would come again and he would start collecting all the shaped loaves of bread, and each household would imprint their key on the dough to know which houses they had to get back to, these breads had to come back to. And Alfredo would carry all that to his bakery, bake it in the oven, and again he would travel again to all these places and give them the bread. And in those days, I believe, the bread used to be kept for a lot of days. So as soon as it reached the house, it would be hung from the ceiling. So it is so beautiful. And now Alfredo's son, naturally, he no longer carries his tradition forward. So there is a picture of Alfredo, and it's such a beautiful story. And it's not a story. It's actually what happened. So Italy for the Gourmet Traveler it's a it's an experience. I wouldn't even call it a book. It's an experience. You feel that you're going to this place and you're going to these tiny shops. And he talks about certain shops where you can get the souvenirs of that place, ceramics and stuff like that. And I have read in the reviews that so many people found it so useful when they were traveling to Italy. So any of you who are traveling to Italy, try to get a copy of this book. This again is slightly big. It's not easy to carry this around. Any of my friends who want to go to Italy, you can come and take pictures of the pages. I'm not going to give you this book. Okay? Yeah. So these were two beautiful books that I came upon. I was searching for one and I came upon the other. Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth and Italy for the Gourmet Traveler by Fred Plotkin. Two completely different books. The only thing in common was that they are both slightly big. But I think both are going to be riotous reads. I'm going to enjoy reading them. I only wish I finished The Suitable Boy before the series starts. And the series has got Tabu in it. And Tabu is a favorite actor of mine. And I'm really looking forward to seeing her. And of course, Meera Nair she's excellent. So it would be great. And I am sure it would have been really tough for her to compress this huge, vast canvas into a 6-hour series. But that has been done. So let's see how it has been translated onto screen. So before that, I want to read the book to see how it has been translated. You to go and try to read the book. It's a good book, I am sure. Suitable Boy is a good book. I started reading it, so I know. And this time, Shalini, I will definitely read it. So you guys have a great time. Have a great days. Try reading. It's always a pleasure to be transported to other worlds. That's the only way we are going to be transported anywhere now. So let's try doing that. And I will come back to you next week. I promise I'll come back to you next week. And this time I'm going to stick to my schedule. I'm going to stick to my videos because they give me so much of joy. I love coming and talking to you about books, It's such a pleasure to share my joy about books, share the joy that I get from books. I'm stuttering. So next week, have a great time, you guys. Be safe, be happy. See you again. Bye.